When was the last time you were able to touch your little toes? If it's been a long time, or maybe it's been, oh, I don't know, forever, then in this video, you're gonna learn 3 simple exercises to help you get your hamstrings to loosen up so you too can touch your toes. I'm Matt Shute from Upright Health, where we help you think right, move right, and feel right. If you're new here, think about subscribing so you don't miss out on any future videos that help you move your body better. Let's get started with the exercises you're gonna do to help loosen up these tight muscles on the back of your legs and into your butt that stop you from being able to touch your toes or touch the floor. To start off, we're gonna look at a simple technique to massage the muscles back here that you can do in the comfort of your own home. All you're gonna need is probably a couch arm or a bench or a stiff chair and a softball. So follow me right on over. We're gonna take this guy and put it right onto my couch here. So there's a firm end here, there's a firm surface that the ball will eventually hit on. So now I'm getting a firm massage into my hamstrings. So what I can do is just put it anywhere that feels pretty stiff, sensitive, maybe a little intense. And I'm just going to work on bending and extending my knee. So what that's doing is it's taking the hamstring muscles here, it's going short, long, and I'm just taking the ball and going all along the length of the hamstrings to find spots that feel stiff. You want to be exploratory here. You want to find those spots that are hiding in your hamstrings that just feel like they're very resistant to lengthening. You don't want to push so hard that you make things numb. You're looking for stuff that immediately grabs your attention, and you're spending time there hoping that the muscle will relax and really practicing telling the muscle fibers in that area to relax. Now, you can work more towards the inner thigh here. So if you spread the knee out to the side and do this, that'll work. If you want, you can bring the knee more inside and then start working the outer hamstrings. You're just gonna have to explore and find what is most obvious for you, all the way from the top down to the bottom. And make sure you're pushing on muscle and not directly on bones anywhere. You're not gonna massage bones to be softer. What I would suggest is when you first start, just go 1 to 2 minutes on each side. And once you're familiar with the sensations and you're not so scared and you kind of get an idea of where your hot spots are, you can spend longer. Spend 5 minutes aside if you want. Spend 10 minutes if you really want. Once your body acclimates, it's okay. You just want to work on gradually loosening stuff up. Once it feels loose enough, maybe you've done 2 or 3 minutes, then we can go ahead and go into a hamstring stretch, a very direct stretch that's going to use our couch. After you've softened up the hamstrings and just gotten them ready to lengthen, we're gonna just take a pad, put it down on the floor, use the back of the couch here as a block for our foot, and we're going to work on lengthening and stretching the hamstrings. So you're just putting the foot right up against the couch. The heel is gonna be close as you can get it basically to the couch, and then you're gonna already feel the stretch in the back of the hamstrings. If you can't touch your toes, you may even find it difficult to get to the point I'm showing you right now. You may find that you are like this and you're still getting a stretch. That's fine. We wanna be gradually working towards straightening out that knee without losing spinal position. So if you're doing this and you feel your tailbone start tucking under as your leg straightens, so you're doing that, and then you get this curve in your whole spine, then you need to back off, bend the knee more, and keep the stretch in the hamstrings while still maintaining pelvic position. You wanna hold this position, spend time here. I'm gonna say a minimum of a minute, but probably 2, 3, 4 minutes as you get used to this. And then you wanna work on figuring out how to make sure the hamstrings feel it. So if you go in there and it just feels crazy, crazy intense, it just doesn't feel like your body can or should be doing this, there's a thing that can help you here. One is to just try to fire the hamstrings. So that means you're trying to push the heel down into the floor. That's going to use the hamstrings and a little bit of the glutes to create a downward force. Hold that contraction for 3 to 5 to even 10 seconds, and then when you relax it, see if you can go a little more into the stretch, either by tilting the pelvis this way or by trying to straighten the knee while still maintaining pelvic position. If that feels like it's giving you the right stretch, keep doing that. Another option is to think about taking the heel and pulling it towards your butt, but it's obviously not moving, right? It's trapped on the floor. So you're pulling the heel towards you, you're pushing into the floor. It's like you're digging this way. Hamstrings are definitely gonna fire when you do this. Hold it and then relax it, and then see if you can either get the knees straighter or if you can tilt the pelvis more into anterior tilt, okay? So we're just working on getting the hamstrings to feel more appropriate, feel right, so you can tell that they're stretching and tell that they're working in this position. And then over time, we keep getting the knees straighter, keep trying to tilt the pelvis more into this. So now you can see that I've basically started to recreate standing and folding forward. And I'm just doing it one leg at a time. So spend at least a minute, 2 minutes on each leg, and then build up and do it frequently throughout the day. If you find that your hamstrings are super sensitive, when you start doing hamstring stretching, I'm also gonna link a video in the description box and in a card up here probably too, that Mitch put out a little while back that talked about how he has overcome his super sensitive hamstrings. So be sure to check that out. Now that you have loosened up the hamstrings pretty well, you're going to work on the actual hip hinge pattern. So a hip hinge, it's like bowing if you live in Japan, and if you live in the United States, it's like nothing you ever do. Basically, what we're gonna do is work on bending from the hips and getting the hamstrings to loosen up as you do so. So one way to think about this is to push the hips back as your upper body folds forward. When you come up, you squeeze your butt cheeks to bring yourself back up. Now you'll notice I did that with my knees pretty straight. When you first start, if you're really stiff and really inflexible here, you can do this with your knees bent. Think about the butt going back a bit, letting the upper body fold forward. What I would suggest in terms of the weight in your feet is trying to keep it relatively balanced front to back. So don't let yourself tilt like way back so that your heels are flying up and off. Make sure you still feel stable and supported by your feet. When you come up, you want to squeeze your butt cheeks to help you come up and bring the hips forward. If this is really hard, you still have your couch. So this couch is a little bit low. A lot of your couches are probably going to be pretty high, which is why you have hamstring problems in the first place. So you're going to be using the couch as your support, or you could use a wall, or you could use a broomstick, or you could use a vacuum cleaner. Just use something stable enough to give you support so you can get used to being in this position. If you're going into it with bent knees, you can do it like this and then work on straightening out the knees and getting that stretch in the hamstrings as your knees straighten out. And then just cycle through that nice and slow and controlled, making sure you feel the hamstrings getting used to it, firing as they lengthen, okay? As that gets easier, you can start to use anchors or weight to really help you. So I'm gonna take this kettlebell. I think I have this set to be only about 20 pounds or something, but you might wanna use something heavier if you want to. Lighter is probably not gonna work, but basically you're just gonna hang on to this, and then you're going to be using that to help pull you deeper and deeper into the hinge. Now, you'll see I've got my knees a little bit bent here, so I'm really focusing on making sure the spine doesn't go into this, right? So keeping the knees a little bit bent means that my spine is not going to get pulled by the hamstrings into this position. I want to make sure the pelvis goes into an anterior tilt and is creating hip flexion. It's bringing my belly button, my abdomen towards my thighs as I do this. So firing there, the hamstrings have to get longer. I'm just pulling myself deeper and deeper into it. And then I can play with maintaining that pelvis and spine relationship, bending my knees a little more, straightening my knees a little more, and just getting them used to being in this bent over position. If you want to, you can also work on this one leg at a time. So as I'm doing this, I could try to just straighten out one knee like that, and then do the other knee and just alternate back and forth so that both sets of hamstrings can get targeted. And if you have one side that's really a lot stiffer and a lot more inflexible than the other one, which is fairly common, then it can be really good to just focus on getting one side versus the other side. So once you've been doing this for a while, you can start to work on really trying to focus on a straight knee as you're going into this. If you can hyperextend your knees, then don't hyperextend them. Keep a little bit of softness and a knee bend in there. But for a lot of you, you're gonna just wanna be working on trying to get the knees to extend into that straight position, and then keep using that weight to help you get a little bit deeper and deeper into it. And over time, you're gonna find you're able to touch your toes. So now you've got 3 simple exercises that you can throw together to help you reach the ground. If you need a program to help you systematically improve your hamstring flexibility, be sure to check out the description box below. We'll have some links there to help you help yourself. If you like this video, be sure to click the like button and the subscribe button, and finally click that bell button so you don't miss out on any future content from Upright Health. I'm Matt Chu from Upright Health, reminding you that pain sucks. Life shouldn't. That was not as graceful as I wanted it to be.